Yadamasi yentumi afa pomde won sama amma esanse pani e so oba na ka ne ye adwuma no na se ye ne di nkomo no bibi nti wontumi ama mbeka yensa na ka ye ame scientific na esu yasene ema ye de apomde won samo ebrem nti ye da sedaba ma ame scientific se wo mo bua ya brebia ayare wa bia ha wadwene bia no kwa ame scientific a o mehwew enfidi e de hwe ni pedua no bi wo ho sanso na adwumayefo a o mo abotre awayarefo nso bi wo ho yare na kire so said dem po na senkwa isanse yeni mo kina semuti no ukwa me scientific eduru ede beka ho isanse nyakopon ne yare safo nti no edan a yare de chie no I hope your last stop nti bo modern na ne amefo ni nkomo awo ho na ye den be ma otu nyina ho nanso ananso se stroke na achewo yare bia wadwene bia no kwa me scientific na me de mesra okra se di kan kwa akọ na ko hwe ni pedua ni mu ansa so yare so nyare o hwe ni pedua ni mabebo o ye pa na se be ya de bi se bebi nso a motumi hu ntem na wo mama no eduru obitumi afra ame scientific awo 0207229505 0207229505 and afi 0244227192 0244227192 na ne krakra ne 0245275254 0245275254 Ame scientific na wasallahu shafi nyankopon ne yaresafo ena no pay mame enfa enchia we ema amanfo bi birthday yentwanfi otawuna yensoro Nathan anum ana fi Nathan anum mo ya atani ata ntafo ne eye monso modda nti we efun papa wura Samuel anum ene busofo ni nyina ho se omo emamu ntiri nkwa pa ena ba konso wa hanso okay so for the one real o say one real say na yo so woda top boy when top boy no when top boy wo fia editor Paul okay and na bro for the top boy no enti me am Paul ne top boy no yo enti one real Paul say men kan chiro top boy say men kan chiro so montini nkwapa no fie here na ye no ewo enafe enenso Madam Ernestina Hagan we a member MYF Patase Etimatim Calvary Methodist Church ewo Kumasi Asante Mantemu so na ewoda we free executive members ewo MYF Methodist Youth Forum and I said there the meaning MYF Patase Etimatim Calvary Methodist Church also omoma wo intirinkwa emu intirinkwa enafe ena ana enunyam ebunyiwa menu ukosko Pentecost Preparatory School Madina nso ene wa woda ifu papa Bismarck menu anafe da na se wa menu o ma me ho omo se omo ma wo intirinkwa pa maye na eno na no pe ma menchia aburehin otubo jankwasi ene ne mpanyimfo nyina akora wo ne mpanyimfo me mamachi anopai emje di se bibia rekoso boko radio adoma ebeti honka chao bi pre na ene amade ko wa ha me hu na che papa na oba no bonhwino egu masum se na o manya 77 years opani de ko ye na wembu
kwasi
me papa no papa de kwasi enti opani kwasi de ko wanya fie de osonson na the birthday so sense kwasi ada wo nti last Sunday na ura kwasi de ko enya fie de oson anson empa na ebobo ma o se tina ho ma ye saa yehu ani ma na ye komato ye yem amaka ho asem de bia se ye ka se gyanum nyina na te se wo se de otia anka mma anka yi huna mane ekoyi a upia enkoyi a na watwe ansan anka kranti dan amate se bododwo no anhye se na wadane na bepem le no koso ayi ne sama yen ye nyina de pabota wa chi say oba Yakopon bobo ho ba hwe so amaye an wanya wa bro 100 ho kra still that's all ahoden that's ama let say
me adome ho yo
de radiasi
menchia etiefo ne ahwefo
wo nyina jo so
na memfa se wa ye de but me for opportunity na me ma me papa wo se me na me ne first born
hey PhD
na ye ma miensa
wow
inti ma me papa kwasi asante deko asori panyin a odikan SD asori a ewo Kaso American town I will free kwa bitifi ansa na oba retirement no ya adwuma wo ADB Agric Development Bank
okay
ti me na me papa ase na me ma na afishia pa ne awoda pa na me nsre nkwatenten ma no eja hu me papa we 77 years ne ho eden pa
that's right
na ne ho eden because ono no eje SD for aduane sem Edi wa practice it for more than 60 years. My papa no monsa.
Okay.
Oti we agric some in the background you pure agric enti ne vegetables nyina odua na ofie. I said that UTV for mokosra no.
Wow.
Na mubusa no. If any say oh na ya kese. De wonim no oye ne project work bi okoko hu no. So ye ne project work wo empanyimfom to ko fie ko hu no. Na hu ni pass am say 2 years ago no be 75 then 77 no gina hwa eya na me bi say rade questions be bre me no ni me nuanom ye to fa ye ma me line oho ye akesefo ne wa mu ni obi o ye kase bia ne hu ne ma ye jeans na anto amfa da the line ke beboa ye mpa nti aduane sem ne asetena mu nsem obaka cho se nyame wo hode na nsusu nipa nsu se wo ye ne se wo ye
osoro boade oboane
exactly ondidi basa onnom nsa sa niema no and of course ba spiritual things so menka ne sa nyame so nsem nso aka cho se osum nyame yie oyi wa komam ni partner wondwin obi hu adwenbone aka cho se ni fia wedi ordinity to ne sumie su na oda pa because oni obi any problem
that's right
enti mame ma no awoda pa na me nanase me ma me free mu 14 years ago me ma me free mu na na wo fresh 2 months
no
na me chiri ba ya anso so awo 7 months
hey
na ye ma me ewu mu mpofi mu papa yi gina mu enti Saturday niema ne birthday we special and it's a for Mother's Day. Tia wishing a happy birthday and I wishing a happy Mother's Day because 14 years ni say grandmother ye no aye. Me boy see me timi ja omo anopa me ba program me politics ye daddy anka me ntimi nye. Enti meda na se me ni nuanom da na se nyame nhira no. Oma ne nkwatenten ahoden wu. Na me ti se ye ka ejafo asem ho. Kan we say Father's Day beben afi na nkrofo be kai omo yawo eja no mo nhwe omo ma mi sa experience mi tiri ayeye mi nya ejapa enti se ne me papa ye ejapa no na me sre Ghana for me ma ne bebre e wo bebre omo ye ejapa no enso ya na ye nka omo asem enti na me na asem ba me ka no asem ma ne de ba ne ye kan enapa yes enapa ye na enso ejapa bi nso so wo ho me papa is an example na da na se na masren kwatenten ama ne rade hwe no so na ono aka se opeso di 120 years o se sa na bible ne kan say rade kan wo Genesis mu ho baby o say after the flood me papa ask me ka chem o say rade kan say ni sunsum ni pant na afebo if you say ye honam na nipa enkwada ebetimi adu 120 years na ne say 70 years na ye kan see David na no ne frustrations or they can 70 years because na na busuafo ne nkrofo tete na ne efi awurade anum baaye ne de o 120 years eti daddy se ne waka no awurade aka se 120 years no minim se nyame de beche yen na we di 120 years because me ama me hu nko anti se awurade de chew u kontem ama ni bebre na o ma won kwatenti ahodin wo
that's right we dey tribute kase pa na owura kwasi asante de ku amade amount no be did say irresponsible man be should be a responsible man and the bed in one dance here had no so there be adachi bi so obana kwatena TV so radio so point di one dance here ɔde ne ye na brabo ebi di ho adanse abere bia obaka ho nsɛm akyerɛ nkrɔfo abere bia kasa kanya me papa nti eno no ti agya no mu nyina nso Father's Day atwam o enyenui Mother's Day ne na nsenyan ene na belated one mama deko anope ye be hye di nkomo enchi bi ye be hye na ye di nkomo na ene ye nsɛm a ye bɛka no ye bɛhwɛ nsɛm ahodoro miensa ho nkomo na ye bedi di kan no mampani Mahama akokasa na ɔkyerɛ sɛ adeɛ ba kɔ ha adwene ene sɛ double track na ha adwene yie papa na ayenhya de bi nso sɛ afi nkwada atwere BC no over 600,000 and a trade BC over 600,000 and a trade BC in Sofia no na mo kyerɛ sɛ hwɛ ɔman abakɔsɛ mu a we na dɔso pa we na dɔso pa ɛna afi nso no ɛma no ɛdɔso pa ɛmɛma no nso ɛdɔso but ɛma no dɔso kyɛn ɛmɛma no ɛna hwɛ mu so abɛkyerɛ sɛ esan sɛ wɔn adɔso ne ti no ama facilities e wo schools awodo mu no ehun be kire omo pa nti ehun be hia se brikatu mu no yetumi e bibi ema nkwada ne nya ba bitina edu wo chekora da betu dwa kire se anhwe ya nkwada be 72,000 ebia wo mu nya admission because wo mo do so chain facilities a ye wo kwada do so chain facilities a ye wo nti ya asem hia no na mampani da to dwa kire mu se World Bank adawro menti sisi aye kasa yi no yenya 300 million US dollars World Bank facility on the amayen ya mampani kire se wo mo de ba expand the existing niema wo ho adan ne de wo de yenya wieye de ayaye wie de se etremu foforo si nti hwie be 2027 be ko na wieye no na double track no yeyi e de afiri ho eno ya semba ko a mampani aka yehwe kwanse betumi aye adwuma nso eno achi nso no South Africa fo nso no basabasa ye ekoso wo ho no ena Ghana fo be ye ahasa 300 se osi tinya oda ho na betafre nti eden ya fie ni fie kuntu hwan a de kira na eko nti South Africa fo tete wo mo bra wo mo nya boni bia do come back home nti abano tu ho na mo se be asafo nyina no wodi wo mo ebeba na yahwe achichire ekoso ne mampani nka ne mampani abedi akire ono no tu franka de ma MPP ama yoko no Dr. Mahmoud Baumia ede nkrata ba bonten na naso wo ka ne se bambofo ene wo mo a tu mikro mo na wo mo de ye gidigidi no tu mi we ye ni nkaso na aban sesa de wo mo ye nyina no wo bebu ho akonta na the letter no yabekinka mu nsem kakra na fie gina so edi nkomonti ama ma me hyase emfa emfiri wo so ana se me no hye nkomotwetwe sense wo mo ese beka yensa no wo mo nya meduri ne yenhwe me Dr. Baumia de ne be hyase isanse eyasemu a ha mwadwene pa no nti no de letter no aba no na letter na ode baaye no emu nsem ni bi emodu kakra fine wa kyerɛ sɛ de ekoso no nani nye ho se wa kasa de tia pa sɛ kema minka bi no sese no sign na chi eno achi nso no memma mo party fo no nsuro obi ye bibi hu bibi aka na ehunahuna we enye no na ye de kyekere oman na wasan aka sɛ there are some people executive ene wo mo a ewo bambo dwumako ahodo mu investigative agencies ni bi any element within the judiciary na aka bo mu a omo de sa tete ni nyina eba na bre bi beso a safo ni nyina no ombebu de omo ye ni nyina ho akonta obi bebisa se eduru bempenso a esi ye kɔ no saa na se oka saa ewo de ekoso hu ana ama
mama ma wa achi bi mi ma tiefo nyina achi obi a onim Dr. Baumia mfie man be 20 years or more we were in politics in 2008 ebe sin ne be 18 years ni enim se oye nipa bi a na kuma owa abotre mamenka ne sa ena owa akoma kese ema niema bibiri Dr. Baumia enta nkasa me hu do misinka no on ta nkasa din sei because on ta nkasa din anyese na no nye din nsem si a oto ne bo asehwe ni din nti se ono beba out we dey ono a natural ne letter e dey aba about this issue na chese e ade a ameno na afini fenie ye obe how many months in NDC ba power NDC John Mahama 2 afini almost 1.5 years ni NDC 4 ba power as ayet senia ne Ghana for nti a Ghana for to abama wo ne nti a omko ekọ sre Ghana for se ye ma omo akonwa no omo bom mbeye omo agya ye no ato ena sabi achichiri a ehunni mfaso ena omo ye the political opponent basically MPP4 obi koka asem a engram fiti se omo fi ase fiti January 7th January 8th besine ye betimi akan nipa more than 20 a omo akire omo because wakoka asem a omo aninye ho latest one me say ama doctor afuno no eye abrantie bi a owo agona young youth constituency organizer Esando yeah. Say me hwe ne ko agona east na agona west one of the constituencies say wo swedru agona swedru abrantie no control on the Facebook page say Dumso is back again be bosumi ne ye nyina ye atiemu say ye nka ne ye dum no enti say abrantie no ye MPP4 a ewo agona west na east pachomo fan cheme say mehu constituency na organizer no akotro on the Facebook wall say Dumso is back again na eja kire me ne wo hu ehu to say ye kire no ye kire no Rambo style ya nkire no ya mfa muka ne say warrant bi anko otinifie ni won ne nan for 40 ho ne ye mo an she ka mu afi na busuafo hwehwe no national organizer na bi ni general secretary so mo she meeting ase na call say ba ti hu abranten the whole night so mo hwehwe ne ye hu no ye nim se ye de no ko police fo ho ye de no ko CID fo ho BNI for na fa no why na fa no adichin ye ansa na ye hu ba bi o sa suban no wo de no kan ye sisi already hu a na akirase ne nsen
nche say okotwere go the Facebook wall say Dumso
reason ti a ye CID force ye ko fa no so akotwere wo ni Facebook say Dumso aba na false information nti ya kire no ene se me mo ba kire ye nyina because me say me Facebook ho me Dumso aba me twere obi in fact that you do mekania me ni bere ye me meduane say ye me benyem me be grantee on Facebook so sa na ye be ye dia ene ne ye be chi Ghana fo nyina si because niema be si a Ghana fo ani nye ho a esese omoka enti sa brante yo ma not aguna so adru akotro se Dumso aba na wakokire na asikire ne sen na ne ewu nti a Dr. Baumia o de ohwa tie ne letter no kan a o kan ya be du ba bi no na o makoko o bokoko mamenka ne sa o bokoko se state agencies mu ye adwuma wo state agencies mu ase ye soma mo se ye mu den amo kwa sabi o mu fa mmara nya adwuma no mu kan hu se politicians ne dia acha NDC for say dey 1.5 years 2 years mun ye koi acha 2-3 years of wafa ne bag ya to aba obeko ye dia ye mi abre say MPP san ba biom but MPP kura ansan ma na NDC kura na besia aba bia ye wura John Mahama we wie nadwuma enti a new government will come enti ni awo ye no ye careful because we know be na on retirement in the next 2-3 years enti adwuma no tim obi aye bribia ye wo processes aye de ne fa so Esando de ye CCI before friend no so mo be invite no no wa ba be chire mu normal so mo dwen se bibi wo ho a enya o twen ni CI before na kobo nkobo na anadwo ne ye soma se nyimire ne ye soma ye ma ye be kukuru no ye se 3 mo kan ne se kasa kesi Land Cruisers ojina ne shop anim a ya so anoko ya nkyere ne baby o ko ya nkyere ne baby a the whole MPP na fe ye ni abre ye general secretary ni ye organizer ni omo amaka tie sim ne lawyers hwe ne maame hwe ne gere hwe ne busuafo hwe no sa na ye no saa ne ye no nti mu na ye soma mo se mo nkoye saa adwuma no so obi atro ene tie mo busa CID ni na o invite ne se wofa ye hu ye ba no wo se mo friend ne se adan o se ya so akotwere wo Facebook se dum so aba nti ya kire no ansa na eventually se be hu no bi e nai phone sem den ne ma no tie se de ye kire obi a ye kire journalist ye kire wo ti se wo ka ban we hu asem a ne ye be kire Dr. Baumia si ye nkai mo se mere ye ni nka so enti ne ewu ye bia kai hu se ho asem ebeba me regional chairman abronye
come bafo
mo se wakọ ka asem bi etia judge mo de na akọ court wo ba court mo ma ni bail oba sai ba court bia no ma revoke bail mo sai de na atumu kopim se mo bedi asem na wie.
You are remanded for 2 weeks according to reports.
Can report ni bi abronya de yes you mo remind until omedi asem within the next 2 weeks ana. Or remind me kopim se omo bedi asem na wie nti asem na bedi ni 5 years. You bedi ni 10 years na abronya gusu dem.
Can that be possible?
Anything na you busa questions no. How do you do that? How do you revoke a bail? O se me de na 2 weeks. 2 weeks no so I say renew bi and na be na. So say aka say kopim se ye bedi asem na wie ni yenyi no. Eno so ne say. Enti yewra Dr. Baumia kai ye nyina se oman mu ye bia practice ne ye friend democracy. Kabi o kabi na misuma kabi. Se ye chichemu a nipa sese nke ye kire omo wo man mu kan DC for last 5-8 years kesi ye kire mu nyina agum because ensema kesi amo kafa oman panyin na akufo adohu ne Dr. Baumia ho no enya asem ketwa yeti ha ye oman mu e ma binum ye demonstration in fact nfa mienu ami hu omo Sami Jamfi broja Jamfi edimu kum na na do ma ye radi kum na na do ma ye muto sa nyum ni nyina wo Ghana ha obi anka mo hwe ye wo man mu ma nkrofo bi si ye demonstration ko gina Jubilee House etu Jubilee House ni din Julobi House obi anka sa mo ho ye wo man mu ma yikofo bi di na na do afisi ano pakopi na omu be ye wura mahama obi anka sa ho because ye wura na do danko akufo ado de onu waka fiti day one say esese ye mo obi a chance no okasa ne o kanu ne nya adwen a eno nkire se okokire no esese de am say ye wura jo mahama obo ni din kurapo no amu ni yi a baba be kire. The last time me can wo baby say me na ma me niam agu me kam because me nin say me kasa ye be kire me.
Yes wa bo ho na.
Ma bo me ho. Because nye we nti ye be jai kasa na Dr. Baumia kan so o my MPP fo nyina o my ye see ye be ye politics ni ye pese Ghana koso ni ye nyina ye adwen say ye be ye dia enye sa achichiri na be me ye jai kasa na de ye be kan ye kasa sese ye MP baako Asante Achem North MP si Achem wa Burujiri. Onu so ye NDC caucus member in parliament. Eti anu say ye beka nso so enu so mekire yen. Ye kase sese ye wura mahama o kan say 3 jobs 1 job 3 shifts 3 people 24-hour economy besi na ye hu so ye beka ho asem mo bekire yen. Ye kase kanya na yegusu dum no. Mijitum say areas bi dey improve but still yegusu dum no. Enti anu so ye beka ye betro o Facebook mo bekire ya na ye ka se niema bebre wo mu a ye friend this for manifesto de to ye ramahama bo a wo hye untwa mu 20% ti ye beka mo bekire ye nyina agu mo nhwe so ne Ghana for hwe so to aba ma mo promises bebrebe e bo hye bebrebe nsema kese a mo kan ye se mo beye no mo nhwe so na mo nye
obi beka se politicians suban no ekoye mawa andi se nso te ha no so beka se bibia besenko mo so mo chi asemesi mo chi obenti mo chi asemesi mo chi obenti mo chi asemesi enti ayese de mo aban mu a mo kire mo fi aban mu na ye che mo a na mo kasa andi si sa mo so sa se ya na mo beye
eja kwamina
mame
abrabo ayebo ye nyina ye bo se ye koye ni
sure
meboa ye bo se ye be improve in politics ye bo se ye be ma Ghana akonani enti se na anu no obi ye wo susu se na anu no obi ye bi enti na wo so wo ye bi na abrabo ne ye kwa ne sei enti MPP4 wona wo kan me nkai bi de ma MPP4 e wa aban mu no mo chi nkrofo enti wo susu wa banti wo susu wo kire enti MPP4 susu san ba bi wa na ne susu ye kire ko o man ne ye ne yie And the fact is obi achi bi na anu ne nkyere se wo chire amayenka. Se especially se wo chire nipa na nyina so ni. Ma me nso mini aba ma sando de ya still any example. Se makoka se dum so eno no aya asema CID for na asema o mo ka kire abrantie no CID for asema o mo ka kire ne lawyer for ne ntine yesu yegina so no
because man you me na say
CID for no ka kire ne say wakotro o mechire mu na false information ono abrantie ne ma false information on the social media so Facebook so wakotro say dum so is back again. Enti say no ne ye bechiri sesei dia ene na me kan ne ye nyina ye bechiri yen
because Martina Sadwene ho me frankly me hu the abranche ne twere ye na me nya police statement bi anso
police for na some mo ka kire ne lawyer no
say
ne enti aye atwe hwehwe na ye kire no ne say what throw with the Facebook say dum so is back again in omo dwen say e false information e false information say aye ka say betu petrol Beboa, send Yura Mahama so for special cabinet meeting, constitutional review. No more can was me. Sure, set time we yaso. So petrol, also more the moratorium between so kakrasema yentum. Naso 1 month naso. 18 names to be sorry if Hana make what can say. Petrol prices may go up again. And also it me betray me.
Say no see may. Betumi
na sa branch na asem no kan o si dum so is back again
obwa o si aba o so
samre na o tro say dum so is back again ye num kanea e den na wa kan ye wrong about it ti say na ye kwone dia say ne nsem a ye nyina ye keka no e wo ho na mo mam ye nkan so me di kakra be kan Dr. Baumi ade no ho say crime has no expiry date nti ye boaboa no ye bese akoyachi nsem a ebinum keka fa ye wura na ado ho a na nya mpa Dachi bi ya be revisit ni nyina.
No makoche
maso. Se ya chechire ko.
Mo be chire nkrofo.
Ni ya chire ko.
Ane na nkrofo ho be chire mo pa na koma ye die no. Ye fa no ani so a bia ye ba fa na trasa na eja wako. But in reality no oman ni din oman ni onyam oman ni dachi bibia se de tunsi ni aso ne hu se ye kodi ya na se ye kodi ye. Ye hwe ensama hodo a amanyofo du bebi a yeka ebinom eka efa enkrofon videos bi ho a won pese obehwe mpo pese obetimpo aboranya dia na wo kan wasem yi no according to Daily Guide no o say o kan sem bi na nasam na o kan ye no e kire say there's a certain judge sitting at the Dental Circuit Court as a judge, but in reality, no, he's not a judge. It's a politician who has covered your hair with sack and claim you are a judge. It's a judge, you know, our dental court or near judge, you know, to one for Amanyuni, and not the bottle. I couldn't say, oh, yeah, judge. So that's some no kind and I'm here. Would mo Sunday chain. Would you say Sakoba say you can be side fa otemuafo ho a man crofo so nya adwen so otemuafo na ono be hwe matentere ne aye adwuma no ye de na kokoshe ko na bi a ebe ma sa atemu no se benkum na se ko na ko benkum kro no be ka say politician tin na man kan o take that decision no ma ono so ni ginasie enkofa ha emre ono ankasa ene o mamu ni nyina
we no ye adenta or ye den circuit court or
circuit court yeah
ye wo man we mu na NDC for in fact President John Mahama Kraka ho bi atisi mu the former chief justice ono na da courts ni nyina no chief justice oba Madam Gertrude Tokono yetna o man mu frɛ no MPP women's organizer ante NDC for this and your MPP so wa what we table we ho Chief Justice Mua mutu ni din so ye MPP women's organizer obi chiri obi Chief Justice no o chiri obi o kasa ho na circuit court judge abronya akoka chira o say o ye den usumban to say politician anti buafu de net remand Chief Justice na mu na oba Chief Justice NDC for na make Yewura Mahama ka ho bi etna sigana ha ebo ni din e kan so ye MPP ni or MPP need to the extent to say MPP women's organizer national. Me can see MPP national women's organizer. mo kan obia anche obia enti se ebema nipa adwen akọ ho se ye papa wa enye bone na temu no ye beji atuma na ye nyi ntum no it is neither here nor there enyina ha na enyina ha mo gina sa premise no so ye wura mahama ba aban mu adi ma me toko no ania eyinadi
odinani wo kwan
oni nani no dinani fiti opposition aba be pay excuse eyinadi san komo ni yenya mo nwie because ma me ni gusu gina court ne mo preso mo di mu saa na oye MPP ni oye MPP women's organizer odi mu saa wo ba aban mu no wo yi ma me nadi
ono no yi nadi
and ono na asie me de to me and Ghana fo nyina in fact the whole world we yi ma one penso chief justice we ma ye yi nadi
ono no
na we wie ya no wa ba
say ye clear ho
me clear ho me ma dwen no me say
ono no yi nadi
ye wura John Mahama enye mre bia ye wura John Mahama edi ma me toko no ani fiti opposition aka ne ho nsam kan sama kese kire se ma me no oye MPP ni in fact ye wura Mahama kan ya kan say judges ni bi MPP for ye wura Nanado the MPP for be judges ti ono ba NDC for no susu nko school no mu form ho mra NDC judges enti me say me ye wura Mahama oti we of sorry anopa no of judges obi ko Supreme Court obi ko mukanese appeals court obi ko high court circuit court me in his time who say nyina NDC for
why should it be so
because he said it
only panel qualify so be to me
judge it's here can
assume so ni panel qualify the man and so ye NDC and
enti omo aye fa omo Nanado mreso no including chief justice talk on no qualify so no qualify and so me bo ni din atu mi din wo ba ban mu no apekwan bi so ayinadi ogusu no gina court na say whole chief justice etimi tu ni din so ye MPP women's organizer na wo ba ban mu timi yinadi a na circuit court judge abronya kan ya na abronya ben waka enti wa kire ni de natum ene sense nka ye Radio Mahama nso ya kire ni tu ni NDC fo nyina communicators ni o executives ya kire mu nyina tu because ye ma me toko nu abrabo am ne bo Ghana hanse na mo ba beji ekonya national mo se ma me na onu ye the whole head of the judiciary mutu ni din aka so ye MPP ni enti asem we de judge no ne abronya asem we mi hu ne nine hu ne the nine hu ne ti because also ye politician enti nya ndai
na odi boto akata uti
oni ti kwa say man boto mi ama nka meka ne chensa ti boto odi akata uti ntu buafu udi na atum okay fa no tume
koma ye die minim se wo se mo so aban sesa mo san kpokomachi
sesa ne ye be ye na dia
sa na be ne dia enti mo be san komachi akwakochechire nsema nkrofo kan mo bo tape no na makoso mu nyina de akọ
mi de sana mi bisu se ye no
ebeboa
se eboa eninti na ye wura baomia ma ye nyina bo ye nyina akọkọ kai yen se ni aye so obi kasa na ya kire no na ye kasa na ye de kire nipa de eni nka ye wura Mahama se ya kire no because o kan sem opposition na mekan menya brojaje mfi asa mi jamfi ye demonstration se nya radi nkum Nanado ema
radi nkum ba unya ma 2013 bunkrofo bi so ye demonstration
and 2013 to omo no ye 2013 to 2024
Mahama
2024 ti sami jamfi so ye
enti na bebi say mo amanyofo no we ya owabam no ya eye oni abam no ye de na enye I say mumienu ni nyina no we didi we a we didi we a mo boy say ekura ejirama kire ekura enti da be na mo be jani
2024 na enye because sami jemfinu mu ye ni ye kai omo sa mu ye bi enti na obi ye bi asa amere ni ya anche mo efi say ye free freedom of speech obi atimi kanasem enti na o man mu ha o kai a papa bi ye friend e sankomo court case bi ho Emma Bemu say yes, who did the president at them crying? Okay, you may move her.
Yeah.
Into here, you're an anado mreso, or no, ye nani, mean man, two baby, I say you're an anado, you'll be a court, and our courses for being court, we didn't attempt. Because says I didn't go back to the pegum, or ye nani because who send me where you man yet. My buying ye will be yet, ye share Ghana for Bobby as say ye, challenges are by a CSC. And to one hour thing change the atom, what's someone said in here. How do you explain to me say the whole government machinery, your whole BNI, CID for, at what in the Facebook wall, or more what na Facebook also, your wall of your constituency organizer, wote agona so edru se wakotro se dum so is back again na ya suma cars see enko kire no
bipa abrantia ne de no
munye serious
se almost friend se omra na wanko
na mre nso ye abrantia ne se ye friend se ochina no pabla ye no wo nkomo
no se ye fa ne so ma friend ne
no se mate me ne me lawyer beba
okay
ochina no pa na adu
na no mbe kire no
ogina le shop ano airport
really
nye kukuru no asem mo kan see adi for me kan kire yenza wo boa nji so kan kire me se na bibua ye organizer ni o kan nyampa ye general secretary ni o kan nyampa se mo kofa no on store anima ya mo amanye nipa ban kra obefa no
se onipa ne yato nsa meti yato nsa frem se bra no miensa
se omro ocha no
na misi yo meko ana so ocha na pabra misi yo meba na menye bibia amfa entia de mekan eni ntia mo se memra no na ebre na mo hye be na nso na ma be fame wo bra no amoa mo kasa memra no nso ya
se afeni enam ne
na there is a huge question we dey ye be sre police administration say said ya sam na kono sa na ye ti no sa na ma kan se mo ye se no kura bi wo baby a so mo yehu se no kura so mo hye ne se omra a day the next day na ebre no so ye no ko ye a yehu minu se Ghana police professionals and say bibi no be ye a won be ye no kwan soronko so ana wo de woni to hwe mi sa won be no kwan soronko so ama se on be ka se bi a what am I dwunu mu ye me na
na me say asemi 3 days near by yes general secretary about a press conference about it me nti say police for na bie na for abeka say ne o kan nyampa enti ne lawyer nra me tie ne lawyer for akwa so o kan ho asem the same thing on so kan enti what are they telling us sani esi ye no mo kan no bi anfa contrary proof my and contrary fact my say nyampa ma fra brantie no se na me bo ameba mama ni dey me ne me lawyer beba da no nso ye na mo suma 3 Land Cruisers anadwo anime a opon on the shop ne yakukuru no afi aguna so edo na bedu nkran ha na nabusuafo ne party fo ne nyina ne ye chinhwehwe no when Dr. Baomi ka say sa officials no ma menka ne sa whether police force BNI officials amokoye sa ade no mo nkan hu say emre ye ninka so say ya more instructions se kura se mo nkofa nipa yimra munnim okwan aye fa so a ye different nipa enti mo follow due process na mo ye dwi ho say kidnapping no
ye hwe police say hierarchy wo yosomafo kofa asemesi bra can the junior officer na say the officer ya soma no beka say menko say nya possible sir
me nim ne call so police for ni say me nipa kwa kofa no say eventually say hu no be na for home gen
okay
say be na for the kofa na me nim ne osoma omo na me nim omo hierarchy ye de ne say CID for friend so mu hia no e kire ne mra wo mra o se me ode ne lawyer beko emre na nso ye kofa no ye de no ye nya ne saa na ye paache so man yimu ye nya ne saa ye mra mpene ma ye nya ne saa na ne enti ekofa ne so akotworo wo ni Facebook wall say dum so asenya babium eni enti ne akofa no nam se saa de ne ye ba kiri ye nyina na ye kai aban na otiso se time na onu so opposition no oka ne ye chen saa obi a nkyere no ye aban na otiso ni gya omo ye ne omo pe because emra ne se mo obi an kana sem eye wudew enya wudew manipa ni chance no kana sem ya nchi obia so kan ne bo so asem wo man mu enti ye mpene ma mo to aso nchi enchi wo mo ye nka ho asem ya be ka ho asem
Obidi about say MPP never again MPP will never come back to power again. The lawyer is the law is the law. And no Yazik Ishak and Benny Frimpong so say my name is Enim Benjamin Frimpong from Kufurudia. I think the arrests are too much. I want to ask, has the NDC and President Mahama heard Kevin Taylor insulting former President Kufuor? Why don't they arrest him? Why don't they arrest him too? Or is it because Kevin Taylor is in NDC? Okay. Now, Nana also said, good morning. Please, if I may ask, what caused the arrest of Oliver Bekavomawo? The same Facebook post demonstrators were arrested in this country. MPP said, what did the MPP said? Some people. na ye bo ahomode sense betumi aka eye lawyer for de ma abrante no na ye bo modin so nya police for mpanyifo na mo achichiri mo sense ne asam no ko se ebre o mo hye so mo ko cha abrante no ebre na anso abrante ne me report wanso na o mo afa achiri ekokoche no eno na ma adwunu mran na kakra ye pese tumi nya nchirichiri mu a edi mu ewo se de be ya ebe hu bebi asam no esiti akasa pa enti eno no ama ye hwe aban yi de aba mampani akasa o say World Bank aboa ye pa ma sisi akasa yi no yenya about 300 million US dollars bia
grant and loan
o say facility
dey just say loan
ye ba behwe na double track no by the end of 2027 no ye be yi e dey free ho enya sam de
NDC ashebo say double track no mo ba ya on be ye free ho say me kaya enti o ka say 2027 no obe ye free ho no me no well send ye 2027 no nyame adum enu ho nyame be ye adum bedu ho ba question am me say abusa ne say double track no boni be pa na ewum enti ya pesi ye free ho me question no ye ran anado danko ekufuado ne campaign promise ba ko a oye ye fisi 2008 ene so onu no susu se esese ye ma obi obekọ aban secondary school Ghana ni akwala bi ade ye ma ne chance no nko secondary school na ye mfam pia ye nkwala no obra hyase no emunye easy ma no enti o the free SHS bai mfie nwotwe a otena konwa so na o implement ye fit day 1 2017 a oba abem ne papa o ne boni mu o yeye na ye bie mu se nkwala ni nyina nko school free no na fe ye hu se Ghana ye won kwala na first nse na omu nyina agufie sika se mu nti omu ntimi ma school ena ma admissions no ebie ye ti aban ne tina hodin no se time a ye de ko vacation no ye be ma nkwala ni bi aba we started double track system.
Yeah.
Nti ma ne twin kwala ni bebre absorb nkwala ni bebre ewura system ni ma na omu ko school. Double track no na e perfect there. There be ti say adwuma bia bibia ye kanipa ho no wo ya wunya no krogin wunya ne fefefe wo ye no na nsam ba na wusiesie na wo ko wani time aye double track no so na aban ebie schools ni ye si adan ni bia ka ho yewura mahama day schools na ojaye no okay say 200 day schools no e-blocks no na ye sie sign the boarding houses na teachers bungalows ka ho anye bia nyina anye bia for Ministry of Education me e free one na e-blocks am say ye 40 ka ho NDC for kono as at 2016 no mo ye 20 o seden na ye be ye 40 ka ho and na still na schools na ye biem ye mom niema just for them to be able ya na brofo na abefa mo fanchem se ne be ya obo betimi atwe nkwala no Ghana ni akwala bi a wa pass a opese okọ secondary school de na se ye ma na opportunity no okọ me free SHS ne ye me de wom no eja me papa me kana sen ye fit program ya me kana so se mere bi du ya o tua me school fees no tua nkrofo so de ma mo time me was secondary school o tua nkrofo de because omo papa ni ntimi ntua akwala ni nimade asorefo wom na busuafo wom enamfofo wom ne workers wom enti ade asese nka e bia me ko ne be ma me lotins nine no ni ama o mienu efise esese ye di bibua obi onko a wontimi mfa me lotin nine konkodi a wonua bi etifie sa free SHS ma yinyina nkwala ne ye miamia ye ho ma obi obetimi akobia obekọ ena NDC fo mutisi mu anya ade anyama na mo de baaye so mo ka kire Ghana fo so mo betimi aya ama na ye yie acha me ono de baaye no na Ghana fo so mo ate ma opportunity afini fani ena edu watch say ya hwe yi nkwala ba 72000 in the betina fie because omunya space ti now be ka kire nse wakoje facility ebe the upgrade 50 SHS. So 50 SHS na mo be upgrade no. say by 2027 me academic year
yeah
ka say nkwala na tro exam o ma tro wi BC no meaning say September omo be ko school sa 72,000 ye yo moden so mo tena fie twen kopim say mo be upgrade ye wi ana say omo be ko no mo so aye double track no kopim say ye be upgrade na wi sometimes amayofo ye ka ho bi ade na nya wo na ofi ase nipa na no ye no twin sen kwala ye mo ntina fi ye be ye double track mo tina bonten etina akire ho ekeka nsam na mo say wo ba ye be take over no we say immediately no double track no wan di enye
e san hye ya ye ka
na 2027 kura menya sure say be ye possible
ya hwe hye de wo ho ebra implementation e ba ye no ye sure how bibiri am say be ye mfie nson ye sure how bibiri ho ne bi bai a motumi awie ni nyina na mo fi aban mu enti sankam na mo ho a ankanye hyehyɛ kuro yi a omo yi ya na kam so be ye a betuama double track or triple track or one track na betuma free ho
yeah no me kaya se me kai bia mo fa nche me se e bia na mfie kakra ni mi refi me kai se ye redutu time na ye education minister e kan se schools bi wo ho a ye de niema ato akwan mu to the extent to say na ehu hia se double track no metwam because omo anya niema schools ni bi nso wo ho a na sa amre ne ya mo niema to the extent to say omo hia double track ni bi answer na ye be fi aban mu it schools aka na omo ye double track na still na ye hyehyɛ omo niema no na am so say by 80% de no mo atwam tika omo aka sisi ya yewra mahama say omo abege 50 SHS omo aka no so omo timi ye de betia fa omo nyina omo ana aka na mra na ye ekɔ no na me ka say me left to me me who the problem with double track
I didn't tell
me ama hwe ye makwan o say o check school calendar na ye call breaks especially secondary school ye call breaks it me makwan first one them say ye be a month and a half me kai in school na ye long vacation and only 3 months and say na bronya de no and say na Easter musus ni ye obi wo ho o ka sa amre ni nyina esimu a ye wo mre bi a ye school ndan ne da ho kwa no be any because ya makwan obi akofie to hwe asamre schools ni bebre na omo de ma convention for asori for omo koka meeting omo ko we ne de ho amom no mo ayuso say ye won kwala e wo fie a omo ko school eyeye omo apass nya so omo ko school enyeye adenti ye beje omo atena fie ye wo sa space na ye wo some time a ye timi hyehye mo omo nso ko school ni bi asamre no facilities ni nyina agu ho me de no me kan say ya bind that na dream me de no ti say ya what time ya call vacations and 9 you see ho some mere still school ni betua teacher foka school ni betua light bill obeye niem ese de bo ho kan nyina obeye na say idea na ba say some mere ne yema obi nsusu nkomu anka nipa ne betina fia adenti ne yenye say mo se enye na mo be yi afiri ho na ban yi dwin say ye yi free ho a na say nkwala 72,000 e be ka akiri ye sure say ankwala ye ombe catch this year ye ko trace ankwala no ye be ye omoden say 72,000 kwala no ye be ye omoden upgrade ya ye be ye betimi awie na afa ankwala yi nyina enti double track no mani abri di America epese omu twam no me di America ne so omo nto omo ase
ama
no mu wie ni yie date na wa ma no menya sure say date no ebe ye yie me de no e bia no mo ayo mo de mo nim say ebe ye yie ye mo mpa ye 2027 academic year be so no na aye yie because me 2027 academic year me be ku bi
okay
enti ehu hia mami say there will be space enough na sankwala ni nyina obi akobia ye nya obi ntena fie enkomo ni nyina ani Ghana ni akwala bia wa ko school no watcho BC ya wa pass or wa adwen obetimi akọ secondary school no and sesi eja ne fie at least onko no nya ne secondary school education obetimi agina so e de aye niema bebre and sesi eja akwala na wo fie enti sa double track ne bebo a yen keep ne yenye ne yie se mo ansusu ne obetimi abie mu yie by date no mo de amana why not yen ma na be benefit the long and short ni nyina ne se free SHS no e ya adepa aboa ayi nkwala bi free situation bi mu a enka ama emmoa omo enti NDC fo aba na ye de awrade ase cancellation no amaso de say ni omo abrabo omo boyi ne nkwala yi a ya betina fie yi Sasa akwala 72,000 kwala ya ye ka se meeting atena fi. Omo ntimi anko school as cancellation abaso amo. Abaso amo. But that is not the intention. The intention is akwala bia wa pass bia. Ese so ko. Sa 72,000 and sese ye momo tena fi.
What you say afi me share me can say I better just say afi afi in the history of omay abako say mu no and kwada dodo a abo mu twen so hwe saa no afi wo so chen afi bia about 609,000 students and say kwada na twen so hwe no
9,000
609 sorry 609,000 students in a train. That means say, Oma does such and senior, but or say, all the total future about 10.something% and about back home. Means Oma does such and senior, Nabia will be a close to be to me. Abba. And you know, Abani say no, as a Sabani to maybe be Surunkubi, send a bear bebois among Koran to me, she be of so much she be. Ya share education, Ubeka say, it will be a Moan Ambaka, a baby as a man find your politics, education, health, and energy me fanye politics nso be wiase no bokore ya be sentwamo asande politics e dey na so as a parent also baba be ko bi no e dey na so say ese say aban to me ye na humesua no eye mre because those days no e wo mu say na anya obi an we nya kwan akode but wo mo e ko no na nye bawe se de ne do baby ankora ni bi da na shedan hye nkura
say they adults young population adults nti o ya planning and now your policy as so di shemu say nipa de bedoso enkwala o ko secondary school na enkwala ye ready me ne o ye ko secondary school kwala na so mo ko secondary school no mo ne de no enyepe because Ghana young population e ko soro enti e say ministry ni ya plans for it me sure say omo dwen hu kwa akire e hye omo ne ma omo nim se nkwala ne bedoso me data no mo amane ne me de wo me say emma no so adoso but problem ni your transition from a honu to the tertiary institutions no me nya ya be hwe sa data no the tertiary institutions I mean university mo kan say polytechnics technical universities the nursing training teacher training institutions no and also so man no to say omutimi translate ko omu secondary school na omutimi ko no so say ade yese yehwe because odi omu ba secondary level no ye the radius because first na ntisa omu koso remember say man no so do population man no do so chen me man no enti eye normal sa na eye equal say man no be do so kakra a chen me man no but say wo can say a ministry of education for say nko mu hu omu hwe population pattern na no mu nim say nkwala no be do so ana yenim afibia nkwala ne do so hwe continuously every year nkwala ne bi beka ho enti anu ni nya excuse omo abeka ho no omo pass no mo ko school na yeyi a ese so omo ko enti anu nya excuse
all right and then the amani ama one on one
NDC for na ma
ai NDC for do so be so omo na no wa ma na wo mo account so no omo tumi amma enti ama ahwa na atwema dwuna be si bibi so say your constitution no mu no omo say secondary education no ebe progressively free take be no kakran kopim say yes sabeso obia so na obia tumi akobi unyini say sa asem no na say ebe mu no esan say ye dan a progressive no okwan bi so na no na ye adwuma yo
progressive ni say na na do mre 8 years ne de akola bi akwa no free na NDC sign ba ban mu na be progressively free
yes free senior high school asen say ye shase bra na ye de form 1 for the shase na ye call no kakran ansa
from 2017 by 2017 18 19 na 3 years ni na no mu nyina awo
3 years no frustration appearance ko mu no hu kakra say wo hwa na akwada na ye say ye break o mo nkofie
na make us a system bia as yes we fear see no ubenya issues like running for almost to say you 10 years so you are running for 10 years so aban we dream say a person will come back to only progressively free na no ye na no 240 cedis those days for day students no 100 and something for boarding so na open na fine Ghana for na to abama no on san come back say parents ne beti ase saa see e be ye na Ghana ni ba bia ko school yes emu ye den yes uncomfortable there but akwala bi anya opportunity ne ko bi no say obi beti na fi wan ba na ntina fie na wan ba na enko
do watch a report on the bench say the possibility some kwadan be ka achire no 72,000 no does that mean say wo munya kwan kokora na say there can be some adjustment
to do watch for no then no mu hu ye enti omo ka se nkwala ni bi be ka fi but na ye nim say at least yen kakra na ye hu system na run nim say ye the restrictions bam ye kire say wait to be kwa ha wait to be nkwa ha wo the last placement when sense me sisi ye ya hwe ni ye nkwala ni bi be ka achire
Sa a cut off point na ye kan wasemi.
Kalan be ka chi.
Wonyi ni say anka no so mu betumi aboa kakra say ye ka secondary education a anya kwada bia na betumi aka say or secondary education and secondary material obi a technical material.
Sentina TVET no so o TVET secondary school so.
Do send your system.
But then the point is kakra no kwa ye wono kwa nipa hi na wo ho. Ye wo TVET schools ni bia edru say ye fa nkwala omu pacho so mo fa nkwala na omo pet technical education no emra eja kwa na de ba ko a me de gusu da me maame ase wo ho say between JSS yan amre no so between JSS and secondary school ne obe 6 months bia na ye de tenafi na between secondary school and university me dem say na be 1 year and ye de tenafi me maame insist say na ono ne mama ne de obesua trade
okay
ti me tie me pamade
I see.
Me pam say me perfect to the extent say me pam no to say na say me twa na me amat me bottom mat me batari at yanki kensi ani de metimi aye because o ma me call me ko share say me na ye seamstress bi ase me say ho be 6 months and me ko university no so course am me ko ye me BSc home science there was a whole course clothing and textiles and so me sua ade pam and na me chiriba no me chiriba no am so no sua carpentry na last one abena me refi ni onusu aye ba ye ni bia ye wo bibi e ba bu ye din said den ade ye metimi aye enti sa ade no ye wo ye kwala ni bi wo kwa eja onu no sa ye grammar school sa na ye friend grammar school secondary school sa na esi ko onu no enye ne dia ne ye technical education the last time menye Ministry of Education ma nya adwuma wo kode but menhu okay STEM schools na ye redutum na donum start ye redutum ewie yen Accra he bi wo TVET campus ho ba ko Accra STEM school na ne de ne se nkwala na omo nsusu de ye pure science and technology based so ye de obo befa ho si ye ne sa ye nyina ye nkonkonko bua no wo secondary school grammar school na wonim se wo de no computer programming obi ye coding obi ye robotics ye de omo nyina ka bom kogu sa secondary school ho no e se ye parents so ye ti ye ho ase se ye ma ne ye behwe omo ne ye hu ni omo be ye oba no wo ho a ono na ni gi computer ne ma ho or ye excellent in robotics or ye excellent in coding omo woni ma bebra ne AI ni ne ma yi sa akwala no wo de ne kokotena economics class o de ne kokotena wo tete no ene e won kwala ni bi nso wo kwa obetia ye electrician enne obi o won sa no adwuma bi edidi obi o won sa no adwuma whether o ye electrician no whether o ye mason no whether o ye odidi because we be kwa wie especially when we call technical universities no more proper certification no contract aye na mo no mo ye enti ye nyi sa ne ma no ni ye nya se ye nyina ye pese ye ma no ko grammar school by force onko secondary school onko na government class ni ekubi twame awo eyo ye force ye masa omonye science because me nya say experience ni me papa ye obi na odwen say esesa wo ye science now ye science na wantimi anye kwa ebiewu adwen me gitum but eja me breye me machi matu no omo ye excellent scientists ni odi machi no ye horticulturalist the last one ye medical doctor meaning say science it was perfect for them me ye bi at secondary school wo de o hwe me results na me nya ya science subjects ni na manya de art subjects ni na me ya de enti ye mu be for see ye ma no yes ye woni enti e person mo ye but what me hu sa akwala wei emfa no ama na fa kwan ye be fa necessary Ghana education service where ye si ahehye no say ye trade ni wei ya TVET no timi start free as ya de wo university level no anya ne obepie no o ma meka omo nkopa adwuma yi hu bi okura na adwuma deda ansa ne ye wo omo so omo ye the STEM science mo kan say engineering and technology for no so ono so timi ya all the way to the university levels ansa na omo mbe ye normal arts ne science for no so ekoye doctor ekope lawyer di ekope wo mo so wo ho yen starting identify ye ma no by the time we do GSS 3 no ehu ni opeso ye no ehu ba bia ode ne befa esese Ministry of Education bua yen parents no so ne ye bua omo enye sa ye nyina be pia ye ho akaka grammar schools no ti wo be hu a edu se ye placement na schools be empty
yeah
ebi so apia boss enkwala ya ye di omo ko ho so be most of them enye eno ene da achi bi obe use aye very important to say ye be yes ade ne yen check ne yen hwe education say we Ministry of Education for somewhere.
Okay.
Honestly.
All right. Ama ye brena ye be ye sorry akwa anisa. Enti asamo a etwato a me de ma no ya sorry so.
Ja sorry so yeah sure.
Me sorry so.
Nya fe na
me sorry so anisa. Enti xenophobic attack ekoso e South Africa memu. Aban say Ghana for beye ahasa 300 I already say one person mobile back to Ghana until yeah South Africa for ye yes African unity ye bo homodin say between Ashama na ye adwuma and so share said the nyama akuya omo so ne between akasa Africa no wo mo na o economy no so pa I betumi akase betumi de ye ho atoto so wo mo boa ma Africa nya dimpa no mo ye de omo ye no ebebo Africa ni and then the kire ye se Ghana for ye fie yanka ye man kotana bontem ye njojo omo sa e de nesese ye ama one on one na ye
well South Africa for ne de mimi nya yanka Ghana for ye beti omo ase kakra bi se omo no abrofo na bedi omo so no me hu de wa me sinka no ya ka bi se obi ye brainwashed out ya se
yeah I say na dwen
ya say omo adwen na ma I say to omo generations unborn omo aye nwo omo kura na systems na e work one year so bad say account enti wo hwe a omo no abrofo na edi omo so na omo afam economy South African economy na bosso na black people no make tuntumfo na omo na omo ye indigence ho na ye omo dia no omo nimu participation ye ka say South Africa blacks omo sheda ewo omo economy nimu participation who say omo nu 20% abrofo na gibribi aboso enti omo di free apartheid na wo mu say yesi amamu independence dey so say economic independence ne yema omo ena ye dia show mutiri mu say omo yonko African countries fo ne momu nyeyi sa omo attacks say nya na omu fi ase
be hoda
as a do time mati say there are some times of the year and many bi wa afinimu a na as yehu pa da gu omo so na atu omo sa akom o kai omo start in Nigeria for some time bi and omo ko Kenya for ekoko Ghana for some na ye nti so omo attack say there's omo attack omo nyina awie em say ye ne yaka and omo attack ye ti South Africa for de omo psyche ni omo mentality ni omo systems no omo problem I say so omo solve it when you Ghana ni meaning say Ghana for be atena ho for years abomo bra ho ebi kura worry South Africa for enti I don't know how they managed but as I said wo hwe wo so yi 300 year almost omo bebe fi omo agi atum so omo mefi ya mo nyina awa atu ya mo akwaba omo ba no nso esese aban hwe ne obeya amomo omo ntimi ma ensapan sa because omo tu bata so omo koye adwuma e na asam akoto omo kwan so e na omo ba fi Ghana ha yenka se ha bibia ye okay ye wo ye issues pa ye girim but efie ni fie bra wo kosoro ba fom efie ani fie enti mesromo enye South Africa case no the special case but ye won crofobia Ghana phobia so other African countries sometimes ye di omani ye di omunya wo betimi a emi se oba fie ye me de sla me kan na ha enye heaven but ha ye fie ha ye fie umia wani eye ne yesese oye na aban no nso so boa na system ni mu ego kakra ema ye nkofo a ye be ye wa ha enti mesra mo wo South Africa ne ye tetewa fa bag na brafie South Africa for ne de ye je omo anyame because ne ye nyina ye papa nom ye nananom ye to gain them their independence and na de omo adani egu ye nso na abrofo na omo tete omo de omo je omo egu ho no ye de omo je awrade ye generation we de Nkrumah generation Jerry John Rawlings generation Kufuor generation in fact me fa Kufuor do ne Mahama generation nka ho omo no African unity no omo no mu fi ase ne ye de tete omo after omo no ya be say de obi ya ne hu
African
me say me African unity no wo ho de ba me ye pure Ghana butter dwen wo ho first after COVID na me ye to me ti mu say me ye bibia at that level me dwen Ghana ho first because mu hu hia obi a wo wiase ha Ghana ye nam ha ye hu hia obi a wo wiase ha COVID me ye hu sa each one for himself, God for us all.
Ebi ani say ye ko America ko share ye pay visa kra.
Ene ya kama until e tell me
say kra no ye bounce am for sa ne pa 100 ko 2 penny nya visa. I wanna go say nyame odo. I feel 90 in Aba. Harrison Kojo Abba. I don't know head of public affairs Nadmo.
And then they see
communication. Me ba hache we de ma me nyina kwanya usra me fa a chopa ma woni wa hwefo nyina me ba hache kakra me ba beginning of the year nti time me ba no when they have been changing time na menim kafra and then omo communicated to me say me ba ha no yeah omo lead the placement team na mame time so I thought it was still the old time so it was this morning na me friend ran this you me issues no for the program kan watch me say 8 na woni me yakwan so sene traffic I tried my best to say can be do her before time but na traffic akra bi abo apeju lo kwan so haya eno so ka hona mama mantimi amantem to we de me pa chopa
catch the osmo a woni say on fa time no nka ho ma so no nim time
omo nim time no mponde wo hwe ye schedules na ye platform no so kra time na da wo kra 10 o'clock I can share with you. It is just a mistake. Mistake.
Say the minimum the oye there, but say kwesipita na ya kwesipita ni msa no pa 8 o'clock ni start.
I know see we.
Anti no. Mo platform na mo fan to su ye, mo fan to su ye na mo say 8 o'clock ni start.
Exactly.
Exactly. Ama me ni ama ya anti mama be scam kuma bi na ya double track $300 million. Nti mo be dey free up hwebe by 2027. Mo bitumi ayi betumi ayi sa kwan be so na be fade aye mo nkonko hyebo be wi ase no ebidu sa be ran bobo mu sense ya ka se ya be yenso ntumi ayi no so kofa san foforo ma
me de nchaso nkwema wale wahwefo nyina na ma chia ye me sister Penny me ba nyina na metie ne oka NDC die sabe ye baba ya mugana fo nyina din wa dance se ye hyebo a ya de a boshe na ya hye ne bebre na ya di bebre na so a ya gusu a ye den ye di so because Ghana fo ema ye 4 years mandate the 4 years mandate no ma ya na Jacob na wa be di dance se the DSCI almost about 1 getting to 1.5 to 2 nti e den e bigu a kire asabe enoma ya hye boss ye be ne ye be den ye be ye ade nti anan amount for expectations was to be brain na say Jacob na previous government no ma sign no ama sign no ma pi a sebe amount for hwese anka ye ba ni manimu ya na anka bibi besi magic bat forgetting say 4 years mandate no my they are right Jacob na no ka no mudika no kwan so because abana ma trauma ye kra kire si de ben they want an action to be done now and done immediately and Jacob na wo hwe ye send your friend no your road constructions na ye nkra ubedi adance say the way road construction a topical issue at the early 8 years of the government no normally and topical issues at the ending part of the government almost all governments say obi ba benwa no so a before kwan assembly assembly kuruma na ye koto aba e come na wonim sa but this particular government enam the way John Mahama vision na no say within the 4 years no be ye nyoma p no promises and they want to make at least 90-95% the obedienti into even road contract about topical issues at the early stages. Into which Duma road minister no crying now. Want an office. One of them assets now and as if he will be accounting for it tomorrow. And that is what the NDC is. It is a what say ya sebi. Ya chero say double track. Double track ya ka say be double track after any name. Ya kan time MPP for the buy na sebi I to say e be cover na e be ayi. Na me so me teacher pen because I me call uni by intention na so I saw what happened in the SHSs. Obo na e be akwaba na e be wo track way e be kwaba na so things were not uniformly done like the way we normally do it when we were in SHS. Things were not uniformly done like that. It did not be a basa. And the boss bakwa share and say we'll put a stop to the double track. You can't say you put a stop to it and you can't say number na sebe ewo SHS and you better so. Nembum debe you be increase some aspects of the free SHS ebe boa ama double track ni no matimi aye one track. One of the things we talked about is what? Increasing infrastructure in our SHSs. And esikana ye kan wasem no. And then can see ye be teacher phone so bebre. E dey aka ho ama double track no so dey double track na take. Inde ja kona say tell us depths na e wo ho. Ana si kai say ne be yusu e dey yi double track afro. E ja komna e say be ye dey yes say ayo His Excellency John Domani Mama o say ayo education minister Haruna Idrisu o say ayo. Nti the only thing I be say we need to hope and wish and hope for the best for the government. Say double track here museum be here through amana boy no. It will be a good thing. Now Sabi, we shouldn't always criticize the government for its promise. Therefore, we should what? We should hope for the best from the government. Now
Sabra more opposition sana mo no.
And America say
sana some hope for the best.
Yeah, opposition. We even gave them options and no manfa. So many times. What I say, inti sanka wo fele say the no enya nka obepa no with the alternatives side alternatives aba so say ni. We have given them so many alternatives. See today they tell us say when they criticize us ni e chiom. You see it is very sad. It is very sad. And then I saw the press release on my abronye dey jakomna make press release in the video. I said how are the MPP headquarters in Kwala na wawana and agrobi no mudi. What is happening? Are they not serious? Serious on my opposition. They were very incompetent in power. And when they went to opposition too, they are claiming to be more incompetent in opposition. You see, these things are happening. And then when you say press freedom index, you also. When you say your boy homebody seen previous years. And then I'm 39. Number 50 something, 40 something. And then I'm 39. Meaning saying that you are Diamond Central for say the Mukabia Monka. Anytime I'm rate yes, and with that number no with that data, and can watch some way who did the cry. I dear me, Abronya Kokasati a judge. Judge in a Congo Mudiasem. Abronya had a judge in Disney. Abronya for your contempt of court. Akokasati a judge. I can't say when some okay. Was it judge in name spellings? And I come na many work room her. Many work room her. Before be a lawyer work room her former baby judge. You know how tedious it is. You know. Sinipano woni mu hwene na kwato was judge no grammatical errors. Was judge no make no brofu was twim was judge no brofo nye. Was judge no brofo nye. The judge was only sent there to go and get issue because say we NDC ni and the NDC intadi a judge sabianka was judge na dey edina no content ko sabi onjina faako a won party bia ho. Na nen it was this your same studio Jacob na na sabi je fi wi show UTV ha. Osi abontena and omofa no ya kan ho asem ya ka se sabi omo share so. Did you talk about that?
Manka.
When they picked him,
na some can say
so why are they behaving like say I don't want to see yes sir. Ohineba Beni spent 10 days in jail. Have you forgotten your own brother? Ohineba Beni, who was not a party member of the NDC, who is a journalist just like you, Jacob, was jailed 10 months here in this town just because we are criticizing Abai. Yeni Krumha. School kola complaining about Akufa all kinds of school kola no. Siana sa apa west apa is school kola bina. Girls go my video aka say o man penny and why sorry to say I'm saying the trika kraka na there. What did they do to the girls? Just suspend you from school.
Na say they say one kwada wo school mutu be catch man penny say.
That is it.
So
the people shouldn't behave like they were more tolerant with issues once we are intolerant. It shouldn't behave like that. Because someone person AC eja komna. School kola kura, you were sanctioning them. Make school kola be kura. One of the central region schools. After almost 2020 send your friend exam, wasi exam. Omo can say pass questions na. Omo pendi ama omo kura. And for so be ani so. No omo pendi last time ni. Ya suspending sound kola no. So have you forgotten?
Meba. And to this is answer na kola.
School kola take you.
You can't discipline. And yes, I am indiscipline. Yes, I am away. It is all person who instill discipline on kola nemu. And you never penny pa. Obesha kola na manaka because of freedom of speech. Intino. Onka do pebi or sorry no kola baby. And since you treat kola na so. Send a bay or chine bido. Said ya miya nenye.
That is what we should all speak against. At least generally, we need to talk about discipline in our system than trying to shift blame and put it on government. Because when I read their write-up, almost said the government is trying to weaponize the court against the opposition. It is very sad. Abron didi amanfo atem odidi amanfo atem ni baba omia no wadidi kenera Japan atem obia no wadidi we atem obinya ka ba omia sempe no oba no so obinya ewe no oba no so muntu no fo. They were not advising him. He sent it to what? He crossed the threshold and went to the judge. And what did the judge na atem? And a judge said baby you nsema no or court so I hope see he was allowed to take lawyers. Lawyers no be o maka o masem but the embrana se na se obeye den obekwa remand yo hiri baba ni o me go to who complained.
Yes,
you can't be class. Say we were offended. I was so conservative. But the Americans watchers, have you forgotten Muntie 3? Muntie 3, we had Mugabe and Kwakugan, our national deputy communications officer, and then our man Alistair Nelson. They went and served some terms of jail before they were giving presidential pardon. Have you forgotten? So it is something we need to all talk about, but not to what shift blames and be putting it on governments and be putting it on errors. We need to what talk about discipline and how we should be polite in our commentaries, and also how we need to do our criticisms without insult. Let's base it on that. It is far better than trying to shift.
Tree station no.
A far better saying you be shifting blame near their two ways so near shifting blame near their two ways so say man penny joma man baby and then share and me hunu kura baby me hunu ndra kura no nam you could be so awodi nyuma bia CNN send your friend journalist be then interview no ono say we kwa bia no onye den wonim ho asem aja kom na de bakwa me me Christo ni o Bible no kan me say that nim Bible no fani fan ye me timi quote the exact verse but at least general overview of the Bible dey meaning yes it touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm aja kom na so wonim za quotation no ye wo krom MPP fire nhwe han ka mo no tu aja kom na ko didi danka me say aja kom na sorry me ya pass ma to so send your friend abro nye ko didi send your friend no danka Williams atem instead of so make kasa kire man kasa nkire no o man nya hwe nkata fia bi no ma kire so ma release letter distance their self away from what abronye have said and one of ye o man kan kire abronye so onya yo abronye went ahead challenging the man of God edru hono o didi danka Williams atem from kai say danka Williams kwa o rensa why kromfo why amroba then danka Williams also took it to his platform have you remembered and what abronye bia o hwirin bia gunu so nkasa o kai o hwirin bia gunu so
ntene na enya no
eni na enya no eni na enya abronye
Debi sasama ayi sofo danka Williams so ama obi adi
na ye nyina enim ye asa
ono kana asem
ni enim obi a waka na asem okoti asem na nipa na kan na so oburu oka asem no wodi nyame pa nyame di nyame jasureja Bible mu asem and only hwindua egu abronye so if abronye is suffering today
wa money din say make ka de ti asemasi
oh ba ye ni nipa ode eja come na ni nipa ode and then so if abronya is suffering please don't come and blame the government. What the MPP should do from the national headquarters release Nsroma, and it is very wasteful and it is wasteful and useless
almost saying
release Nsroma no say ye weaponize court no e dey oppress opposition. That is just a portion of the release, but release no does almost about so many pages. But baby and my attention kopa na say yeah the court na dey every opposition na say yeah NDC yeah bet yeah every opposition MPP opposition yet me bro ma say Jacob MPP we bet me every MPP opposition say be so your man bom MPP survived. Not to talk about his excellency John Dramani Mahama where you be all day kabima minka amambo e den ehedwuma. What I'm saying is the release I was say MPP for manager Jacob they should rather write a letter to Osofo Danka Williams pleading with him say papa ya pacho abronye wanye ne yiye na won san kon ko bompa e ma nyame no nya den no dane send your friend eduabo na oboye no
Obodua sofro bodua.
oh no sorry let me say me can sense how will I say it
So now can wasem.
because o can say gunu so what the power you can go and watch the video what's in pan be brepa na yare na de be ba no fi you didn't listen to the video what's in sembe to no you didn't listen to the video so the best thing the MPP should do is by this time they should be there on their way to Duncan Williams because abronya so catch Duncan Williams na nya no kwan so it is not a good thing meaning say mama hele won so onu minim ni pa woye and I know how onu mama hele won on criticize aban and they were bet na wa kan sama tia aban bebre anka be che na anka nsuma amafo mama meche no ya ye nche no because o kan ni dey e ho fine
efim sa achim agona so adu
efim bia ni ho
organizer right say eso akotwere say Dunso is back again so I did not try anything police for funding no bambo for funding no
me you be
Land Cruisers 3 in the cofa
e come na
meba omo kan say per the information about ya ma am ti ase no pay no say omo kan say omna the next day anopa you hear the ochena anopa ade anche dan omo kan na nwumre na ogena story na Land Cruisers miensa ba ebe fa no kwese na say no
eja come na me I don't enya ade am best so sound man so nyame no kuranim sana guy no troye without any provocation and on my fan there eja come na enya no kwan so me my only problem is with the MPP see enyoma we see o metumi afamra kwan so eden ayi nipa enda no o mo chi o mo guy ba ko bi o mo so mo hwere o mo hunu ba eden a o mo nsa eden o mo nsa ka no nyame ayi adom o ma famra kwan so akweden akoyi na free and that is how the thing should follow sans na wasi ayi na eden ekoso ba see e be kwa chi obi in a Rambo style just because wakasa ana waka bibi ate aban na ade no eja kom na me nya ade ame be de me soso e na nya ade pa nya no kwan so a eni ntina nden see aja man for criticize aban man for chiro ma bi eni ntina nden press freedom index ne ya wosoro kakra and they see e be to so aye ni yiye no sa na wasi ede ye na ba me problem ne say for the MPP trying to shift blame forgetting what happened at their era it is a very big problem so we need to come together as political parties and make sure say san your money yebe den yebe jai me ade ba kwa ye me ye man ni pan say they want to be who let animal they are especially the Dr. Baomi Atore trying to catch you say you account for what
for your still worship
for your still worship just imagine
you can here or say I condemn in the strongest of terms the unholy collaboration between the executive state investigation agencies and some elements within the judiciary to use intimidation and harassment to silence members of the New Patriotic Party. And Sunday Council Mwamu Yesano Omunche na akuntebu dan bitu.
That is it. You see, there no plan say when MPP ni kasa and aban besesa and mubehu and aban besesa and what has all those things for? Aban besesa ni be hu den. Wa woda form. Unhu na nipa say aban besesa na obehu aban besesa. Obi anka say aban na besesa. So what is all this threat about? What are they are talking as if this thing never happened. We're in this town when a journalist was murdered in cold blood. Have you forgotten? Your own brother, Muhammad Juma Yelufoni, journalist for him, for Ibia, was murdered in cold blood. How many times haven't they picked Captain Smart from work? Captain Smart, you that sense of crab head there at the era of MPP. It is something when you see ya at your era. So why will you now come back? What is happening? Instead of us to what? Hold a dialogue and say, no. The way I need patch on my dream or among send your friend, Kabima Minkaba Mambo, ayi one, Sabe, your form, and then was seeing in a day, yet your trust on your giant. You are rather threatening the government. Say, I buy best son, I buy best son, I buy the side who account for what? Who account for what? What are we accounting for? I put on your quiet idea. Sabe, judge, what Casantia judge, court. Once me uncle defend no uncle to say, Uncle share the man the kakara, no mundia, we are no my day, no man who may be more than the bedroom. Oh, say, yeah, I buy the son. Now, buy the son as a man cardi abronia can be obeyed action. I buy the son, I make a studio. Our candy abronia can be. I didn't abronia become UTV because when you see sound 7 minutes, there is no way you allow him to speak. There is no way you allow him to throw those tantrums. There is no way you allow him to say those words. Nti ja komna womba. Nti ona kasa kwati in studio say social media da woroma. Wakwati in studio ana ofe no ohia TV. Ohia TV no so na wote na wo kire whole judge say dem judge ntebrofo, judge wo grammatical errors, judge dimi spell. Na judge na te ho is on the case because say we NDC ni.
Nyanya civil case a bia e betwa ka say judge na
and so that his lawyers would have made those arguments in court meboa and then it is for the lawyers and the judges between the court, the judicial system. And then it is a judge in the bosom of the judge, the knowledge of the judge. And who you see the abronya kan is an offense. Now a bro civil ayiswa. Not or say that remand kakra. And come na never for abai hobe. And then you see bamu
judge na me pese be ni se bia yes center some no kwame abronya ho per se, but ninsem be muniti na me
that is the major reason why the release was made.
Enti so order or you know otemafo na o ka asam no fa no ono an o te asam no so anasa court judge for na te asam
no man check it.
Okay,
that is it.
Ehun hia me pa sense ye kan na ya mai echichimotumi aba na ye hu se de bi se ai na fa anyway
the aban no koyi ba mu se ja ko me ma asam no aban no chefa wo sai we mu na ye de
mu ni mu hwe
na de wakasa te aban ni ba bi no wakasa te ada aban ni ba bi no wakasa te we woni judge na anya enti we nya ba me na me ka no. You see, Duncan Williams is a very powerful man of God. We shouldn't take those things lightly. We shouldn't take those things lightly. The MPP should rather write a note to Duncan Williams, tell us Papa was a patrol, stand in front of their congregation, apologize on behalf of Abronye. Now Duncan Williams from Pioneer and tell Machi. Now Sanyo Mani Niane, say, I no mena, what Shiagu, no so I'm a panel on a puppet, so Nini na bede, ebe maso. Won't say Abronye Semini na bede, ebe Hanka, wow can you? We say a civil issue, get the Nipa remand. But it is also part. So they should rather write a note to Duncan Williams, pleading with him, say, oh, Duncan, Patro Yabano Wanyani, Yababe Patro. Ye de ya sebe, ye ma memory, we see Koka ye. Now, man, fortune abosi, yeah, to the high office of the chief of staff. Immediately. Yan chairman yan jisu bebiri. Couldn't the birthday celebration or Kojina Papa and say, Papa, ya Patro, ya bano, or Fuma Fachano. The chief of staff Patro, na Papa, you watch up and wajatum. And that's why we moved on. Sana Nyamia nips to bed. Nobody is trying to say the man of God is holier than thou. No. Bible now can see we have all seen and falling short of the glory of the Lord. But Bible now so can say, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. So please, it is a what? A nice advice and a clean advice to the MPP. Say me Pomato, they should rather go apologize to Duncan Williams and make sure so the ombone be chomo. Omba say abronye bibia be finish. So how many times in any actually abronye?
Me that's it. Yanko South Africa na fi xenophobic. Ghana for 300 they back. The ekoi ene senia omo to share sui. And then abane babeye e de aboase na be ya enye Ghana ni bia mpa kono say. Obaka se mitubata akọ South Africa man.
Ejakomna. Anka akwantu die. Se obi beka se o free baby akọ bona brade anka enye bone. Enye bone because account for mo kam asem bi se ekuru do so ayent na fa kwenye den enye ngase. Ejakomna nti utimi won obi kura te Ghana no wo se Ghana MPK mana na emfa mana no okwa brochiri okọ US okọ UK ebi kura timi ko Togo Nigeria Cote d'Ivoire na ade kura ko bo mo bra wo ho eja komna nkanye bone kura. But the problem we have currently as a nation is unemployment problem which we must all solve. Then making sure say rapidly a better send your friend unemployment rate no so. Na say even in Kronfo be free krum ha kra akọ amanfo fro so akoye dwuma kra, the number will be a little bit ayi send your friend no e be number na be dey e so be kakra You go to a time in this country when you go to our airport. One day you're going to say a throttle station. One day you're going to say a bus station. Sometimes when you go and surround and I say, oh, far American embassy, and you see people sitting under trees. You see the way people are sitting and waiting for visa and all those things. Some about visa interviews and it is not easy. It is because of the situations in this our country. That is why I'm saying, we must do everything possible. Make sure we will increase our employment role in this town, and make sure productivity in this town. Emma said we will consume what we do here ourselves, and make sure we get a lot of people working in our industries and factories, and make sure we employ people both at the private sector and and public sector. So that we can cover the number. So that obi free Ghana to could be an it will be on the person's free will. It will be
maybe say enunti na mo kan say mo de nhihye bi ba mo say 133
exactly eja kona say eguso
133 nti sa 133 na mo say mo de ba no uti opposition for na asem mo kan say yehu ma
that is it
ene 24-hour economy
exactly
kan say mo be ba ma yehu ene ne ma nti say mo ni abre pa say mo tuma ma on employment akofa mu a 1.5 years mo ba ba mu den na kire say mu ye bibie beto say agrobe de fianopa
eja koma agrobe de ani fianopa eni nti na say be ye de yakopa se ho mra wo parliament ye de ye hu adwuma de ba say anopa na no nti na agro na be de ye be so afiri ho unu say nan haya say ne fe no there are some little and I say 1111 government institutions will pretty 24 kodivie le kohwe o ma be 24 hour office woni mza Koport kohwe o ma be there are some key government institutions as be o ma start ye hu adwuma ene na nchen wo hwe embara na o mo de aba na menya mbara na enkan in full eja komna but ade ba kwa ya promise ya e wo hono se de ben see ye be share ye private sectors no ye be share o mo kena anase ye be mo sika se be bo o mo matimi den o matimi operate within that 24 hour eja komna ye can ye because even in this town before we deliberately finance even some of the pharmaceutical companies. Eja komna say okay and make sure say o metimi abom ho body amom ndwuma akosoro and then send your friend your papa or Atinka TV and there is a living testimony for that particular thing. And this abaya say within that 24-hour economic policy frame you be use that same model to sponsor private owned businesses no matimi dey operate 24 hour. Eja komna we are on track. The 24-hour economy secretariat one thing happily have been formed. Eja komna say unim ya papa go sit na eda no which are doing everything possible, doing stakeholder engagement policy meetings na there asabe enche it will kickstart. Eja komna what's it 1.5 year 4 years mandate have been given. What is happening in South Africa? Sabi enen ye papa Ibrahim Amabaso. You saw the guy that just came back. Guy na no hu eba sama obey na say ya Ibrahim Mama e dia to no ho so e boa no 200,000 Ghana cedis. So on function the business I say. And Ibrahim Mama kwa esa edge say sabi omo over 300 people no more omo pese omo mra okuja to atimi abo omo ye omo hyehyɛ ya omo de omo beba omo ba sabi he is going to do similar things for them. Eja come na they should come here and Ibrahim Mama can say there are a lot of opportunities in what in Ghana.
Okay.
So they should come and help. But they are South Africa for any day. South Africa for omo team na omo de. Eja come na. Omo team na omo de. And I like how our government is treating this issue. They are doing very well because even this is the time they are attacking Ghanaians. Some time ago they were attacking Nigerians and all other countries. And we spoke about it. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, our president at that time, spoke about it. Everybody spoke about it. But one say, we as an Africans, what do we say Abrafo to South Africa? They occupy a large land in South Africa. And South Africa, the citizens there are not disturbed. Say Abrafo mufi baby fufro any omotie. But they are disturbed. Say wa wo yonku bibini ene wote. They are disturbed. Okay. So omo yonku Ghana for any omotie.
Okay.
And trimu desen ka yes the same thing wa ha.
Anka be ha dwene pa.
When we say be ha dwene. Do you know the number of South Africa companies in Ghana?
Me da se.
Say see a tuma. What you say they will find it okay.
Me da se pa.
Please.
Me da se.
please the South Africa should spare our people and make sure say Ajakomana Omejani will live in harmony. But young conference or more also they can come back home and there are a lot of opportunities to what to do, especially 311 ya say secretaries na dia nyoma ekosu Ajakomana asem den e
ba say ama wo bi ka na ya so ya nisa
me what can say what they want no e don were a e bi wo me what can no
but say nwire na ni abirito wo de wano don no
ebe wo
sa NBC for the wano don wire wo position mu sa fe mo dum a e bi awon mo sa amere no abdusu a say afi matiesi mu no na ada ni excuse no say 24-hour economy no e beba so ho
yeah see me see who
secretariat na you're supposed to be running the 24-hour economy secretariat actually 5 na won hapo ni atutum ya to get
and secretariat 24 hours
secretariat
don wira e bi wo
the secretariat so 24 hours
e before ya na 24-hour economy mu me kai
MPP
ya 24-hour economy ja ko so mo ntiase ura free
ni ntiase mo na mo ntimi ankyerechire
mo si ntimi nkyerechire
24-hour economy ba
e ja ko na e ba power mo ntiase kura se ne ya de
o kai se o mo ka so mo de jata sebo budon de okay akwa na okotena kumase kan jata sebo ye de omo agu
just by the way
wo hwe
that is what the
ministers nina obi ani hotime kire ade ani mu ba ku be asele na yeti ha yi ma de kro yeni na hwe so ban yeni ma de amode 1.5 years down the line
eja kom na
1.5 years down the line na wo ka kire yen say still e beba so a so na make how do one no do wira e bi wo
anyway
eja kom mo so mo ntiase
de onko mo twetwe ne bi si
mo ntiase ndi mo ntiase ade na asbi
na mo ntiase
anka ntiase anka ya kan eja kom mo so ntiase na ka
mo da bi mo tumi
so ntiase so what just do it
da bi mo so mo tumi akire mu say
ya kire
for our economy
eja kom na
ye say
that is why the only people complain right now is the MPP because Ghana follow what to abama any NDC for na yet there na say and they are following a skill in the before the 24-hour economy na say so far as I don't understand so they should just stay in their corner so when we say omu ntiase say e was 24-hour economy no enya policy framework enya bill aye be passing through when we say omu nim sa nyama nyina there is no way they didn't even understand it into omu nkoso ntena baby omu ko na mu a no mo ntwe was we operate and why are they complaining omu say ade enye so why won't you sit down and watch us do it? It's a say the ayaba mu there. Immediately it has turned around. Say so one more tiase kwase here and they are telling us say 24-hour economy secretariat I didn't need do 24-hour. Why was one tiase? One tiase I didn't know we are who say 24-hour economy secretariat or say you do 24-hour. So if you don't understand, you don't understand. They have already shown their ignorance about the whole topic in opposition and now they are claiming same. It's the same thing. But so one tiase and they will never understand too.
What do I not do without?
Ama sa 24-hour economy no utie nsemo kan sisi a ose ese enya ase wusi dan no ese tumi nya pillars a ebegina so
proper foundation
na unya foundation na unya pillar nti na ese enya framework na enya emre beta akiri na sa nyama no nyina so edibre nti so mo de san hye ni nyina gu owie dia na ese bam
no take off
what they were not done without ebi wo
mommy I now don't tiase
is it not too early to criticize what I'm saying
1.5 years say 2 years new
so I just don't pay
1.5 years mu ani ye wure you
e da go right now
so wa no o de don wire mu gusu de don wire so say antiase me MPP ni amentiase de me nka ho ase mo pa mu si pillars mo pa mu si foundation mo pa mu nkofa jata ne sebo ni sisire emra mo pa mu nye wache economy mo pa mu nye fundraise say don ketia chairman fundraise ne well therefore it's up to you what they want no don wire e bi wo
enti so mo ye wi a
si eti ha o mo ye wi a si enyina eti ha because adwuma ne ba na obi sore kwa adwuma no pa according to the Minister for Youth Pablo I say ebi be kwa no pa meboa na yakoyi om na wakoyi ahen the same job no
ekoso
etimi ba so
na ekoso
na ekoyi a se nipa na yebefo
NPA National Petroleum Authority for say almost 68 filling stations filling stations
and a private and a government
private ni public ni na na yesi ye
some me say na make what do I know don
oh auntie no na yesi ye yo okay
that's it.
And me who actually say about e ye adwuma ye nyina ti ha you can for back a beer water
yeah one camper anope ye bre no ye de be sia na ya do ma se so mobile anope me nua ba ko me neku ba ko e wo America memu na no wusu do not friend just in case or Atlanta Georgia na wusu anope me mo achi anope so wo hwe ye na se wo de wona yo che de busuafo ni nyina just in case or Georgia Atlanta no pay me mo achipa na usu e kire be di nkomo enti na no pay wo mo e be ka me sama me do ko na amade ko eba e de ma NPP amayuku no e na fei NDC nso de obaye e Harrison Kojo Aba odi ne e Aba ana Aba
me no obon correct pa
on head of public affairs Edma Nadmo wono so eba ma NDC amayuku no na yesoru su na nadu me ma achia no pay pa na fe bakwan wa ha wa mfani di ama nti said o kan so me so nya kwan kenkan sa anyway ye da sidaba ma specialized this we need fufu need abekwan se wo musu ya sema no penso Adekye Nsroma ye de ebre mu ena ye bre no ye ja bebre we chiri isanse nkomo no asa wakasa tenti wakasa tenti
nya wadin so pese ebo bika na nka ye wonsam ka
ensam ka pa
MP na ya kire no se na sema kodu se
ahwasa am say ye born voice dafia makpo onabo dafia makpo say wono ne ubi odikan onipo odikan a kwa frimpon frɛ no nti o kyerɛkyerɛ mu ma na no pe kura no ye bo yini kakra nti ye be sɔre so a yesore so akwa yebesan abo na se de edru bia no so no de kusi ye no tumi on benu se speaker of parliament ene oman no ene mpanyifo tu wana monti yebehwe de bisi yebehwe de bisi
caucus in parliament
woni ye edwuma ye je tum
mesu bi de
ya mi hu ni mo boy
Inya kopon ya domo a mimi de be ezia ewo critical issues on fa no wotwe ekopim se ebebo du ba ko
ya be kasa ni mechiri
nti ya kan no ba wakan ya kramo adodo ya mimi de be hia ewo critical issues so ya kramo nyina da wanse mamu de hwe
it came as a big headache Sunday, I believe by Sunday 5 a.m. thereabouts when he called me. So I was the first person he called and told me about the issue. So quickly, I had to also refer the issue to my principals. So eventually, I got my leader, who was himself on transit at Heathrow in London. So he had to fly to Schiphol to go and engage him for about 2 or 3 hours to understand the issues. Since then, we have brought in the foreign minister, we brought in our ambassador to Hague, we brought in the attorney general because he has to deal with some legal issues in terms of the statute of Rome because he's traveling on a diplomatic passport. Speaker himself has been brought in, clerk. So we've coordinated this matter very well. We have a lawyer for him now. The lawyer is a Ghanaian based in The Hague, but he qualified in Hague, so he practices there. And so he's dealing with the issues. But let me confirm that he's fine. We engaged yesterday. Today, I had further engagement with the lawyers. This matter broke on Sunday morning. So it's, I believe that it was yesterday that it became news in Ghana, but the arrest actually happened on Sunday when he was on transit from Accra on KLM through Schiphol to London. It's a private trip, I must say, but he's traveling on a diplomatic passport. So That's why the Parliament is so concerned in dealing with the issues. But we want to urge all the media houses to not to be throwing in things that haven't been confirmed. Because even the warrant for his arrest, we are yet to have the authenticated copy. The prosecutor that has been appointed in Amsterdam dealing with the matter with the lawyer is yet to give those necessary documents to the lawyer and for our consideration. So let's stay calm and don't let us jeopardize the issues. We are doing everything possible to see how best the matter can be resolved.
So
look,